I'm Harrison Graham. Let's dive into our Bears rumors roundup here on Chicago Bears Now. Are the Bears trading the number 1 pick? I'm going to go 2 smoking Jays on this one. People are talking. It could go either way, and I definitely do think it could go either way at this point in time. But this is an interesting source that this one's coming in from. Peter King of NBC Sports, who has a personal relationship with Ryan Poles. They've done multiple one-on-one interviews since Poles has gotten this gig. So they've had contact over the past couple of years. King does believe that the Bears will trade the number 1 pick. He has had one-on-one conversations with Poles in the past, like I mentioned. And look, Justin Fields had an uneven season, so that makes that decision a little tricky. Do you keep rolling with Fields, continue to hope for growth, or do you reset and go with a rookie quarterback? Here's what King had to say specifically in his Monday column. He said the Bears should be able to get a 2022-like ransom for the pick with so many good quarterbacks in the pool. I expect GM Ryan Poles to trade the pick, but it's too early to say that with certainty. Now, I do want to hit the report yesterday as well from Ian Rappaport. This was leading up to the Bears-Packers game, and he said, regardless of what happens in this game, the Bears are going to do a deep evaluation on the top college QB prospects, Caleb Williams, Drake May, etc. I would expect Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and J.J. McCarthy to be a part of those evaluations as well. They'll probably look at Bo Nix. They're going to take a look at all of these guys. And by the way, they did that last year. They looked at Bryce Young. They looked at C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson. So, that's just a GM doing his job, regardless of what his QB situation is. Unless you have one of the top 5 or 6 guys, you should always be evaluating these top quarterbacks if you are a general manager. Now, here's what I think in terms of all of this. I don't think Poles ever really considered drafting a QB at number 1 last year. Sure, he met with all of them. He did his due diligence, but I don't think that was in major consideration. And the reason is this roster still needed a major overhaul. So trading that pick to get multiple picks for that draft and in the future, which is now the number 1 pick this year and a number 2 second-round pick next year, was important to fast-track the rebuild. So I don't think that was ever considered. I think this year it'll be a much harder decision. I think he's going to think long and hard about the scenario of trading Justin Fields and drafting his own guy at number 1, because how many GMs get their hands on the number 1 pick 2 years in a row and don't take a quarterback either time? Like, that seems pretty unlikely. So I think it's going to be a long and hard decision, and one he's going to have to make, obviously, pretty quickly here in the next couple of months. What will the Bears do with the number 1 pick? If you had to guess, type D for draft a quarterback, type T for trade the pick, pen comment on today's video. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, reply with a D or a T. All right, next up on our Bears rumors roundup, DJ Moore. Does he want Justin Fields back? Yep, you can take that one to the bank. 4 smoking Jays. He's been saying it for weeks publicly on the radio in his post-game scrums at his locker. Nothing changed today when it comes to DJ Moore. Here's what he had to say in his exit interview with media today when asked about Justin Fields when he talked to Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus. He told reporters, he said, I bored him up, of course. I mean, he's the quarterback of the Chicago Bears until otherwise, and I don't think that's changing anytime soon. We'll see. He also said on 670 The Score, I don't think this was Justin's last rodeo in Chicago, because Fields made that note in his presser yesterday. If this is my last rodeo, I appreciate everyone. DJ Moore said, I don't think it is. Now, I don't know if that's just him making his case or if he knows something we don't. Who knows? But here's what I think. I think DJ Moore had a career year with this guy, career highs in reception yards and touchdowns, which is why he wants to keep him, because they've got that chemistry. And I'll say this, man. I've never seen a fan base and really even a locker room be this public in defense of a player that may or may not be here in the future. Like, these are signs on the road to their practice facility today saying, keep Justin, we want Justin. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I really haven't. So I think it points to a couple of things here. One, Bears fans are extremely loyal. They're extremely passionate. I think they do see that even though Justin Fields has flaws, that he's the closest thing to a true franchise quarterback they've maybe ever had. Can he get to that true franchise QB status? I don't know. But I do think the fan base feels like it's possible. And number 2, the amount of teammates that continue to go on Twitter, talk in the media, he's our guy, he's the answer. I can't remember a situation like this before. So, again, I've said it. I'll continue to say it. It won't be the popular decision if the Bears trade Fields and draft a quarterback. Now, you can't operate that way. Ryan Poles said as much. Listen, I love the fans, but they're not going to make this decision. I am. So we'll see. We'll see. I see both sides of it. I'm going to wait for this coaching stuff to play itself out before I give my final answer on what I would do. But you do got to appreciate how passionate this fan base is, man. It's something I've never seen before. Okay, more to discuss here on today's show. But first, Prize Picks. Daily Fantasy made easy. The national championship game is tonight as the Michigan Wolverines take on the Washington Huskies in Houston for it all. And this is the perfect time to get in on Daily Fantasy with Prize Picks. Use the code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. All you do is pick 2 to 6 players on any given entry. More players you pick, more money you can make. This is 10 to win 100 here. Michael Penix has been cooking. I think they could be playing from behind, so he's going to throw for a bunch of yards tonight. I think Washington's going to do everything they can to slow down Blake Corum, stack the box, so let's see if they can do that. Give me the less on his rushing yards. Rumba, I think he'll find the end zone in this one. J.J. McCarthy, if Michigan's run game gets stymied a bit, he may be asked to do a little bit more than normal, so give me the more on his passing yards. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get started today. $10 to win 100 on that entry. You could also win up to 25 times your money on 6-player entries. Okay, Luke Getsy, is he going to get fired? Just 3 Smoking Jays on this one. I do think it's pretty likely, but as of now, nothing has happened just yet. Getsy obviously under fire from the fan base, under fire from myself, a lot of media members as well. It just, every time you thought this offense was taking a step forward, it just, a big game would come up and it would take 2 steps back. I put myself as the origin, but I think Bears fans in general. Again, no official word on any Bears coaches yet. I think he was pretty underwhelming in 2 seasons. I'll give him a bit of a pass for his first year because that was a pretty brutal roster to work with, but not enough improvement this year if you ask me. And look, some of this obviously is on Justin Fields, but I don't think his development under Getsy has been adequate enough. And the way they've run the offense has not been proper to what Fields' strengths are. Yeah, there was improvement, 20th in total yards, top 20 in scoring. Okay, that's something, but the passing attack still isn't there. You got to throw the football in this league, at least with some success, to win, 10-plus games year in and year out. Middle of the road and third down and red zone, but again, it was not adequate enough, especially when you don't get to the red zone that often. And just, X and O things, eyeball things that I've noticed and have said for a long time when it comes to Luke Getsy is his play calling once you get off the initial 10 to 15 play script just isn't good. There's a chart out there that shows that. Like the early game stuff works pretty well. Once teams settle in and you're off script, he struggles to find solutions. Like his plan A's are good, but good coordinators have plan B, plan C. They figure out what the defense is doing and they counter adjust. He did not seem to have enough answers in those situations. And again, the inconsistent usage and development of Justin Fields has not been strong enough. Whether or not you think Fields should be back next year, I think these offenses, especially this year, should have been more dynamic on a consistent basis, and that was not the case. So I think Luke Getsy needs to go. I've said it. I would also fire Matt Eberflus, but at minimum, you have to change offensive coordinators. I think that's pretty clear, if we're being completely honest. If you want Luke Getsy fired, type F. And look, I don't like going after people's jobs, but Luke Getsy's going to be fine. He will land on his feet somewhere as a quarterback's coach or a run game coordinator or something like that. So type F if you want to see Getsy fired. Reasons to subscribe to Chicago Bears Now. We've got the latest news and rumors on a daily basis here on this channel. That includes coaching buds, NFL draft coverage, also NFL free agency coverage, as free agency is just a couple of months away here. So lots to dive into this offseason. So hit that sub button. Join the movement here at Chicago Bears Now. All right, last story here. Ian Cunningham, the Bears assistant GM, is he landing a GM job? I really wanted to go 4 Smoking Jays, but until it happens, I can't, go that far. But it's pretty likely. I think it's trending heavily in that direction, especially considering he turned down the Cardinals job last year. Commanders have already put in a request to interview him, so they're getting that underway. Rappaport calling him a top candidate, not only last year but this year as well. And look, when you look at the Bears, the player acquisition and scouting and roster turnover has been good, and it's been fast. And Ian Cunningham, who came in with high regards from Philadelphia and next to Ryan Poles, has been a big part of that. So I expect him to be gone. I think he takes a GM job. And the good news for the Bears is if that happens, the Bears land 2 third-round picks, a compensatory pick this year and next year for a minority hire going upward in terms of becoming a general manager for another team. So the Bears would land 2 third-round picks. That would be a bonus if he does leave. Obviously, if he stays, that's cool too, because then you have a really good evaluator in your building. But I do think he will be leading another organization very, very soon. What do you guys think? Is Ian Cunningham gone this offseason? I think he is. Type Y for yes, you think he is, or type N for no, he is not. I'd be pretty surprised if he returned to Chicago this offseason.